Verse 5 says what? I'm commit my way unto the Lord. I'm committing my way. The way I'm going to go and what I'm going to do, I'm committed unto the Lord. Why? Because I'm trusting the Lord. So I'm taking my petition to the Lord and I'm committing it. I'm giving it to him. I'm giving him the concerns that is going on over the land and the water. Ushaba. I'm giving God, I'm committing my marriage, my friendship, my relationship. I'm committing my business unto the Lord. You understand what I'm saying? I'm committing the work that God is giving me unto him. I'm committing it all unto him. I'm committing my financial situation unto him. I'm committing my work relationship, whatever it is. I'm committing. The doctor told me I was sick. I'm committing it unto the Lord. First, I don't trust. Now I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm not listening to Apostle Spaghetti. I'm not looking to see what Bishop Meatball's going to say. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not looking with Bugs Bunny and Elmer J. Fudge is going to say. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not looking for a screwy rabbit to screw me up. You understand what I'm saying? Lead me in the wrong direction on a ghost chase. You understand what I'm saying? Nah, but I'm committing it unto the Lord. I'm not talking to my mother about it. I'm not talking to my father about it. I ain't talking to nobody about it. I'm committed unto the Lord. I'm going to be mature because I said that I trust in God and I'm committed unto the Lord. And verse 7 says what? Rest in the Lord. And then it says what? And wait patiently for him. See, I'm going to rest in the Lord. So when they ask me those questions, and you may get them, you just need to do three things: trust, commit, and rest. Now, let me tell you something. You do that, that'll be your best. And believe it or not, that's 357. And everybody knows about a 357 Magnum. Listen, you can almost kill an elephant. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm telling you. You put the word of Yehovah on them. You don't need nobody's opinions and how they put their nouns and verbs and adjectives together, and they come up with this phrase or this sentence that's supposed to be so profound and deep and whatever. And listen, let me tell you something. It ain't nothing for you to eat. And guess what? Forget about it. It ain't no meat, because you ain't need to meet that stuff anyway. Listen, you need a word from Yehovah for yourself. Trust, commit, and rest. Remember verse 15 said, oh no, the day of Adonai is upon who? Upon us. He's upon, the day is upon us. Fathers against sons, sons against mothers, daughters against mothers, more daughters against fathers, and wars and rumors of wars and terrorist attacks and droughts and tornadoes and hurricanes. Earth is separating. Pay attention to the time. And stop being up here trying to make it like you going up there to Washington, you going here, you going there is going to make a difference. The only difference is going to come when people turn from their wicked ways. Seek what? His face. Then he'll forgive your sin and heal the land. There's been so much sin going on. Listen, the wages of sin is death. So if you out there and you shacking up, and just by some chance you catch a stray bullet, the wages of sin is death. I'm not going to sit up there and say hello, but I'm just saying, that's just what it is. When we live in the world and we do the things of the world, we receive the things of the world. That becomes our reward. The reward for sin is death. But the gift of God is eternal life through what? Yeshua the Messiah, the Holy One. There's no way around it, my brothers and sisters. Now, I hope you can stay with me just a little longer. I just want to give you scriptures. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you because, I'm not one of them people to sit up there and make up things and fight. I know how to defend myself. I'm comfortable with being the man that Yehovah made me. I ain't never been no chump. Never. See, so this is why I have no problem talking like this to such beautiful people like yourselves. But you have to know where we are. And there is a position, there is a space that we can all bombard where God hears us. He hears us. And he does it. And a lot of the stuff that is going on, the space should be occupied by you so-called leaders that are doing everything but this. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 7. Now, I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. When Shlomo had finished praying, fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offerings and the sacrifices. Now, I got to go back and say, when Shlomo had finished praying, see, praying is the key to everything. And in some translations, when he came to into praying the prayer, see, when you pray the prayer, the prayer being the heart of Jehovah, the very thing that Jehovah has designed and purposed to go on in the land, you begin to pray that prayer, Oshaba. You begin to connect with the seraphims and the cherubims, Olediosaya, and sure enough, sooner or later, your son gets healed. You laid hands on your daughter and God healed her. Olediosaya. You talked to God about your mother and God saved her, Oshaba. Your dad was a gambler and a drunk, Oshaba, and you talked to God and God healed him, Oshaba, delivered him from alcoholism. You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you talked to God, and where there was war in your families, between your siblings, you begin to pray the prayer, Oshaba, and you came to an end of praying the prayer, meaning you it wasn't so much of an amen, Oshaba, but it was a traveling word, Oshaba. It went through under the Osaya from glory to glory, Oshaba, and it reached God's throne at some point. Why? Because in order to pray the prayer, Oshaba, you got to be in the right position and posture. I don't know about you, but you got to have the right clothing or the cloth, Oshaba, and there's got to be a technique and a skill, Oshaba, that you're lined up with the perfect will of God under the Osaya. And see, you ain't down there and you got all that sin and stuff in you. You see, you can't pray the prayer under the Osaya if you're self-righteous and self-lifted in pride and you're doing things to be recognized, Oshaba. You can't pray the ending of a prayer, Oshaba. See, that prayer ain't traveling under the Osaya. You better believe me, it's just like dead air. Your prayer done dropped in the air. It left your mouth and fell to the ground. You understand what I'm talking about? But I'm telling you tonight, there is a position and there's a place and a posture and a technique and a skill set, and there's instructions that God has given us that when we pray the end of praying the prayer, God would be pleased with it. That's what I want to come out tonight, is I want God to be pleased with our prayers. And then I want to see some action, Oshaba. I want to see some traction from our action under the Osaya. You know, back now, I don't know about you, but in the business world, sometimes we say around our buddies, look, I ain't getting no traction, Oshaba. Then you know ain't nothing really going on. Man, I'm getting traction, so you know that they done went from one phase to another phase, or one step to another step, or one realm to another realm. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to see some action, which would be some traction, which gives me a positive reaction. I know I'm not going to be before you long. So I said, when Shlomo had finished praying, fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offerings and the sacrifices, and the glory of Adonai filled the house, so that the high priest could not enter the house of Adonai, because the glory of Adonai filled Adonai's house. And that's what we want. We want God's glory, Oshaba. We want God to be pleased with our sacrifice. Listen, let me tell you something. The enemy is turned up, Oshaba. The enemy's turned up in the land under the Osaya. See, you know, you're just looking at one incident, you know. But all the people that are talking about, the black lives and this, I happen to be, and I got sons. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, last week we had bombs go off in airports. You understand what I'm saying? And so you had 4 terrorist attacks over in the Middle East, and I think in 1 week. Don't quote me on it. You understand what I'm saying? But there's all kinds of things of going on of destruction and evilness, Oshaba, and things are happening all over the land, not just in the U.S., but all over under the Osai. I think in Taiwan last night or the night before, they had a typhoon that was coming in over 100 miles an hour. You understand what I'm saying? And so, I know you got a prayer just for your corner under the Osai. That's okay under the Osai, but I'm speaking about the nations. I'm speaking about God's presence over the water in the land. And there's got to be something, Oshaba, God, that I can do under the Osai, that you find favor with some of us, Oshaba, and some places that'll be some kind of move, God, some kind of move, Lord, under the Osai. See, you can talk like that if you are living righteous and holy here. You can talk like that if you got on the right clothing, Oshaba, the right attire. You can talk like that if you're in the right position, Oshaba. There's a position under the Osai, and if you've given the right sacrifice, now the sacrifice that get in that position today is Romans 12:1. I beseech ye, brothers, by the mercy of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto Jehovah, which is your, listen, it is your reasonable service. It is your educators. It is the only thing that you can possibly come to based on what Jehovah is doing in the land. It's our reasonable service. So what am I saying? Well, God, I give you my toes and my feet, Oshaba, my heels, my calves, legs, and joints and thighs. I give you my eyes, my ears, my mouth, my lips, my teeth, Oshaba, all the bodily function parts. And now when somebody does that and you meet somebody like that, it ain't crazy when she ain't going to sleep with you. Help well somebody. It ain't crazy when he ain't going to fornicate with you, commit adultery. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking to some people that want to live holy and want to get to the place of praying the prayer, Oshaba, where the words begin to travel, Oshaba, again, and they pass principalities and wickedness in high places, Oshabu. Oh, bless his name. Are you going to be that sacrifice tonight? I hope you're listening to Jehovah tonight. So then the priest could not enter into the house of Adonai, because the glory of Adonai had filled Adonai's house. And all the people of Israel saw when the fire came down and the glory of Adonai was on the house. They bowed down with their faces to the ground on flooring. Prostrating themselves, they gave thanks to Adonai, for he is good, and for his grace continues forever. Now, the thing that I want you to understand is when Solomon had finished praying the prayer, many of you are in leadership and you're directing people in the wrong way. You want to give people your anger, Oshaba. You want to give them your anger, you want to give them your stress, and you want to give them your emotions and all that stuff. But listen, here the leader started and he finished praying the prayer. He finished praying the prayer. And he gave the sacrifice in abundance. And the Bible teaches us the people followed after him, because the altar was so filled that you couldn't fit anything else in it. They filled God's house through praying the prayer. And the prayer traveled, Oshaba, that it reached God's heavens until the heavens came down. Now, you got to keep in mind, this fire came down not to consume the gifts, but the fire represented that God was pleased with their sacrifice and their service. Think about it, y'all. Back in those days, they would put calves and lambs and different things, and they would offer these things up and they would burn them so that God could smell the scent. You understand? We're like the frankincense and myrrh. But here, God came down from heaven. the fire of God, the glory of God came down from heaven, not to consume the gifts, but to show them that he was pleased with their sacrifice. Is God pleased with your sacrifice tonight? Let's go down to verse 14.